Alright, so Monday, we were talking about the equation of line, and then we had two different forms that we looked at. The one that y'all looked at was slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form?
Y equals mx plus b.
Alright, what's M stand for? What's B? So on 1, 2, and 3 here, they asked you to go through and get it in slope-intercept form. So basically, what did you have to do?
Switch around.
And do what?
Rearrange them.
Switch around, rearrange to do what? What are we trying to do?
Get y by
There it is, get y by itself, right? In order to be in slope-intercept form, yeah, we want y by itself. And that's the one y'all used. Y'all said y'all used it in 8th grade, used it in 9th grade, in Algebra 1. Y'all use it next year for Algebra 2 as well. The thing is, that's not the only way to write it. So what we've been looking at, we started looking at it a little bit Monday, is what we call point-slope form. And this is what we're going to use a lot in here. And college algebra, which a lot of y'all take college algebra, or if you take pre-cal, you'll do it in there as well. Point-slope form, basically we need two things. We need a point, we need slope. Point-slope form was y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Now it looks a lot more difficult than y equals x plus b, but it's not. It's got a more natural flow to it. The problem with y equals x plus b is when you got to go through and find the y-intercept, you got to sub everything in, you got to get b, and then you got to go back and sub it in again. And for whatever reason, that's something that's just not natural for most kids. When we first learned that in Algebra 1, I used to teach Algebra 1, so I know this. A lot of kids would have trouble going from one step to the other, and it's just because it didn't really click with them. It didn't really make sense. Not that it was hard, but for whatever reason, it was subbing in and then going back and subbing in again was kind of an awkward process. The nice thing about point slope is you sub your point in there, you sub your slope in there, and basically just do distributive property to get y by itself. It's more natural because it's like you're solving an equation. Okay? So we already talked about it. M is the slope. What's x1, y1?
Point.
The point. Right? x1, y1 is the point. M is the slope. X is x, y is y. You sub everything you need in there, you go through, get y by itself, and that's it. So I know most of you have not seen this before. I think maybe, I don't know if this class or third block said they might have seen a little bit with Miss Athens last year. Okay?
I think they want to.
Well, no, I think both of them said that, but I don't know. But whatever, if you've seen it before, if you're not, I still want you to try it because I think you're going to find that's pretty user friendly. All right, so what we looked at yesterday, I think we did part A on this one. We didn't do part B, did we? No? All right, so, and we're going to we tweaked it a little bit. First thing we said, I told you to scratch out the perpendicular and put parallel. We're going to talk about perpendicular. We're going to do parallel first because I think parallel is a little easier. All right, so we said we need two things to write the equation. Let's do part B together then. Two things to write the equation. The first thing we need is a point. Well, on this one, they actually gave you 2 points, didn't they? So no problem there. What's the other thing we need for point slope? Slope. And what's the problem when we first started this one? We didn't have, I know you have it now, right? Because we did part A. Originally, we didn't have slope on this one though, did we? So if you don't know what slope is, how do you find it?
Plug it in.
No, plug it in what?
y2 minus y1
Oh,
over x2 minus x.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you don't know slope, then find it using what we call the equation for slope. Alright, so we take our values here. This is the x, this is the y, this is the x, this is the y. Which y do we start with?
the bigger one.
Y. Void negative. So, what's the biggest y? And I know you already have it, we can do it again. Minus is part of the formula. Be careful with your negatives. What's the other y value?
Negative.
So it's 2 minus, and then it's negative 7, isn't it? Everybody understand that? Now the only catch is, since we started with the 2, which x do we have to start with?
8.
Start at the same point both times, don't you? 8 minus is part of the formula. What's the other x value? 5. Alright, what's 2 minus negative 7?
9.
So it's negative, negative, back to back to our positives, don't you? So that's 9. 8 minus 5 is?
30.
And then 9 divided by 3 is?
30.
And that's your slope. Alright, so now let's do part B together. Because y'all haven't done that one yet, have you?
No.
Alright, what does parallel mean? Why did I change to parallel? What does parallel mean? They run side by side, never cross. And if two lines run side by side, never cross, Jasmine, what's the same?
The slope.
Why?
If If it wasn't for the cross.
What's the S word? What does slope mean? What is slope?
Steepness.
That's how steep it is, right? We said if they're not the same steepness, they're eventually going to crash into each other, won't they? So if two lines are parallel, like Aaron said, they run side by side, never cross, they have to be the same slope, or else they're going to run into each other. So what slope are we going to use on part B?
3.
3. So let's take everything we know, let's sub it in. Now, why did they say they wanted to go through B? What are they telling you? They're telling you which point to use, aren't they? So let's take everything. So they're telling me, I want to use 8, 2. Y'all just told me the slope is 3, so let's sub into this point slope. So point slope, I just told you a second ago, write this down with me, was y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And Faith, since you don't have your work, you got a piece of paper? Okay. Let's sub everything we know in there. So y minus, all right.
I can do this.
What's the, they just told us to use b. What's the y value?
2.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody agree? They told us to use 8, 2. Y value's 2. Equals,
3.
slope was 3, x minus, what's the x value from your point? 8. Does anybody have a question? And again, the nice thing about point and slope is once you sub it in, this is more natural to solve. Yeah, Haley?
Are we gonna have to remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
you got me crazy.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Alright, on the left, the parentheses on the left are useless. So we can just drop them. So on the left, it's going to be y minus 2. Parentheses group things together. Why do we have parentheses on the right side for?
Because it's gonna be 30x and then whatever they're going.
That's right, we got a multiply, don't we? On the left side, there's no distributive property on the left side, is there? So the parentheses are useless. That's why we can drop them. On the right side, y'all have already said the distributive property, so 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And then we do want to get y by itself. So to get y by itself, kind of like George said earlier, get y by itself, so we what? Add 2 to the other side. And we get y equals 3x. And then negative 24 plus 2 is negative 22. And there's our answer. So even though we use point slope, what do you notice about your answer? What form is your answer in?
It's in,
It is in slope intercept, isn't it? So, but we use point slope to get there. Because again, I think it's a little more natural. You just sub in, get y by itself, distributive property, get y by itself. Alright, anybody have a question? I want you to try one or two yourself. We okay so far? Alright. So, is this on the next page? Alright, so let's do this. Let's cross out perpendicular. We're going to get the perpendicular. We'll do parallel again. Let's make that one. We'll make them both parallel. We'll make them both parallel. Alright. We'll do the slope part together. Because I want to make sure everybody's got the slope right. So we said we need 2 things, right? We need a point, we need slope. So let's find slope. So Aaron said it a minute ago, what's our equation for slope? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus. Everybody look up here real quick. The biggest mistake people make is they get it backwards. They put x's on top. But everybody look up here. If you think about it logically, we remember rise over run, right? I think everybody remembers that one. What is rise? If you rise, what are you doing on the graph? Up and down, right? What goes up and down? That's the y-axis, isn't it? So if you can remember rise over run, rise is up and down, which is the y-axis, isn't it? That's why y's have to go on top. If you run, you go left or right, don't you? Actually, you always go right. What is that? That's the x-axis, isn't it? That's why x-axis is always on bottom. So if you can remember rise over run, rise is always the y-axis, run side to side is always the x-axis, isn't it? That's why they have to be in that order. Alright, so we have x and y, x and y. Alright, which y do you want to start with? 1, that's the biggest one, right? Now minus is part of the formula, isn't it? What's the other y? Negative 1. So it's 1 minus negative 1, isn't it? You got to be careful with your negatives. Now, since y'all started with the 1, which x do y'all have to start with? Minus, what's the other x value? Right, still okay? Be careful with your negatives. Alright, what's 1 minus negative 1? Okay, what's 7 minus negative 4? There you go. Y'all found slope, didn't you? Once you find that slope circle, you're going to have to use it twice, won't you? Now, what is the difference between part A and part B?
Part A is in U.
Everybody agree? I think we're going to get some ugly numbers here, won't we? It's okay, use your calculator. You can write it as a decimal or a fraction, I'll leave it up to you. It's okay to use your calculator, solve it. Go through, see if y'all find do part A and part B then. Okay, like Ava said, part A, use U, use negative 4, negative 1. Part B, use V, use 7, 1. See if you can go through, sub it into point slope, get Y by itself. First one turns out to be an ugly answer, doesn't it? Again, you write it as a decimal or a fraction, I don't care which way, it's up to you. We'll talk about it when we get there. I think part B is going to be an ugly answer too. Somebody got part B? Cindy's ugly, Jasmine's ugly answer too? Again, decimal or fraction, either way. Don't jump too far ahead, because number 2 we're going to do a little bit different, okay? And check those around and see if you got the same answer or not.
I'm done for today.
That's it, huh?
I'm done.
20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, you're done.
I've been doing. This is
That's sleeves?
That's
Hey, go ahead.
I did not sleep.
You got 2 sleeve guards. Gross.
Wow.
It's gross, cause I have to walk around with that all day.
Not good, sure.
What do you think I roll my sleeves up? You start early in the morning, just roll them up each time.
You got this shoes.
He's not ready to.
I'm doing that.
That one.
Once you have kids, you start to, things aren't near as gross anymore once you have kids. You start adapting to something
More
like
than
that.
80.
That was a nice shirt.
Josh, what you going to
Alright, take a second, finish it up.
I don't know how to play them. I need to just. Yeah. I never seen.
Alright, let's look at it. Alright, so y'all told me the slope was 2 over 11. And Ava said part A, we're gonna use, which is -4, -1. So let's sub it in. So we have y minus. Alright, since we're using u, what's the y value for u? Now we already got a minus there, don't we? So it's minus -1 equals, the slope y'all told me was 2 over 11, x minus, alright, what's the x value for u? Negative, so it's x minus, then -4. Again, is everybody okay? It's easy to lose a negative along the way, isn't it? Alright, so negative turns positive, so that's going to be y plus 1, we can drop the parentheses. Over here, two things. Negative turns positive, do that part first. And now distribute the 2 over 11. So 2 over 11 times x is 2 over 11x, plus 2 over 11 times 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and that'd be 8 over 11. Some of y'all wrote that as a decimal, didn't you?
What's the decimal version on that?
8 over 11, that's going to be like, what, 0.77 or something like that?
0.727.
Is it 0.727? Okay. And then finally, we want to get y by itself, so I minus the 1 to the other side. And if I do that, I get y equals 2 over 11x. And then 8 11ths minus 1 will be -3 11ths. And -3 11ths, that's going to be, is that like, that's going to be like negative 0.23 or something like that?
-0.27.
Negative 0.27.
That's what I.
Okay, is everybody okay? Anybody have a question?
I just did positive instead of negative, and I don't know why.
You have positive 3 11ths?
Yeah.
When you subbed it in, Haley, did you make that a positive 4? Did you make that a positive 1?
Yes, I do.
You did? I think you just forgot about the negative then, I guess.
I think I did.
Alright, let's look at part B. So, the only thing changing on part B is we're using V this time, aren't we? So other than that, we're going to do everything the same. We're subbing the same slope in there. Y'all told me the slope is 2 over 11. We're just using V. So what is the y coordinate for V? 1. Equals, slope is 2 11ths. X minus, alright, what's the? 7. Okay, we said the parentheses on the left, let's throw down. Parentheses on the left are useless. We can just drop them. So that's y minus 1. Do the distributive property again. 2 11ths times x is 2 11 over x. Minus 2 over 11 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14 over 11. And then get y by itself. We add the 1 to the other side. And we get y equals 2 over 11x. And then -4 11ths plus 1 will again be -3 11ths 1. Notice how the answers have been the same last couple problems? Okay. Yeah. The way I've kind of tweaked the problem a bit, but the way I tweaked it, yeah, they'll be the same every time. So that's the way it's kind of, now not always. Because in a minute I'm going to tweak, I'm going to go with the original problem. You got that one right? You just forgot about the negative, I guess.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with this is it's easy to lose a negative along the way. So just be very careful, okay? Now, the next, I told you not to get ahead of me, not to do number 2 yet. Because number 2, we're not going to change number 2. Number 2, we are going to look at it as perpendicular, okay?
Okay.
Now, we talked about parallel run side by side, never cross. Because of that, they have to have the same steepness, don't they? They have to have the same slope. What happens if 2 lines are perpendicular when they cross?
They do cross and they don't have to touch.
They won't. What happens when they cross though? What are they going to make?
Right.
Right angles. And what little phrase did we use for perpendicular?
Flip and change sign.
Yeah, I was the original one.
Opposite over, no.
Opposite reciprocal, which means to flip and change signs. Alright, so anytime you see perpendicular, you've got to do opposite reciprocals. So we're going to go through, this one's very similar to the one we just did a minute ago. Do we know what the slope is? We got to find it, don't we?
Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Do we find it the same way?
Yes, ma'am. We got to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's do that together. So here's my x and here's my y. Here's my x and here's my y. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, what's the biggest of y value? 12 minus the other y value is 4. Negative 4. Everybody okay? So 12 minus negative 4. Is that everybody okay?
Yes.
And since we started with the 12, the x value we have to start with is? Negative 8 minus, what's the other x value? 5. Alright, what is 12 minus negative 4? 16. Because negative is positive, isn't it? So that's 16. What is negative 8, negative 5? Negative 13.
Oh.
Which is an ugly fraction, so be it, whatever. We're not done though. Because, let's circle it, it says the word perpendicular. And as I walk to the back to turn off the air, because it's 45 degrees outside, what do we always do when it says perpendicular? We just said it a minute ago. We said perpendicular, we have to do opposite reciprocal, which means flip it and change the sign. So we're not going to use 16 over negative 13, are we?
We're going to use 13 over negative 6.
Well, close, not quite. Close, not quite.
13.
Alright, when you think of a fraction, if one of them is negative, the whole thing's negative. Okay?
Oh, so we're going to do positive 13
So,
over 6.
if we flip it and change the sign, positive 13 over 6. Circle that one about 100 times, because that's the one we're going to use. Anytime you see the word perpendicular, the first thing you do is you have to immediately take the slope, flip it and change the sign. Is everybody okay with that? That's really the only thing that's new for this. Everything else is the exact same. But if you see the word perpendicular, whatever the slope was, y'all found me the slope, we immediately flipped it and changed the sign. The red one was negative, so the green one had to be positive, didn't it? And then everybody agreed we just flipped it, didn't it? There we go. So we got to use the green. We're done with the red one. We got to use the green. So now let's sub everything in like we've been doing. So point slope, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Alright, so on part A, what do they want y'all to do? Let's go through S. So let's use S here. So it'll be y minus, alright, we got to use S. What's the y value for S?
Negative 4.
Y minus, and then negative 4 equals, what slope did y'all just tell me to use?
13 over 16.
The green one, we flipped it and changed the sign because it said perpendicular. So we did this because it said that. Alright, and then x minus, again, we're using S, so what's the x value?
5.
Let's stop for a second. Does anybody have a question? You all good? Alright, what's y minus negative 4? Y plus 4, minus is plus, isn't it? We do distributive property, 13 over 16 times x is 13 16ths x. Minus 13 over 16 times 5, 13 times 5 is going to be 65, so it's minus 65 over 16, which is a decimal, that's going to be like 4.06 or something like that, isn't it?
Yep.
Alright, and finally to get y by itself, we just need to minus the 4 to the other side. Minus the 4 to the other side. We get y equals 13 over 16x. Negative 65 over 16 minus, that's going to be, what's that? That's going to be negative 64 over 16, right? So that's going to be negative 129 over 16.
That's not what I got.
I don't know how much that hard.
Oh, that is what I got.
So as a decimal, that's going to be like negative 8.03 or negative 8.07, something like that.
I thought that it was, since it's negative 4.06, I thought that it would be negative 0.06. Because you're minus 4.
No, but that's a negative.
Or negative, minus a negative.
Oh.
We had to minus it, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Good. You sure about that, good?
Am I right?
You okay? Everybody got it? All right.
Yes.
So again, I don't care if you write it as a decimal or a fraction. It's up to you. But just realize they might write it on either way. Like, tomorrow we're going to do multiple choice. Tomorrow's Thursday. You know what we're going to do tomorrow. It won't be over this. We'll have an exit ticket over this. Pretty good chance tomorrow. But if you're doing a multiple choice question over this, there's a decent chance they're going to write theirs as a fraction. So if you're trying to figure out which one it is, just divide on your calculator and figure out which one's the right thing as a decimal, right? All right, let's look at part B. So we said we need two things to write an equation. Jordan, you okay? You'll be all right. We need two things to write an equation. You what? You lost your pencil. Is it there beside? Is that it beside Rowland?
Yep.
We get it.
Wait, so the slope on this one's gonna be different, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is because it's perpendicular.
But what do we have to do for perpendicular though?
You're trying to find the slope of this one too?
Well, didn't we find the slope to begin with though on this one, Haley?
Yeah, but it's perpendicular, so it's gonna be different, isn't it?
Well, what do you
Okay,
do
you're
for?
seriously confusing me.
Well, not slow down then. All right. So first off, have we found the slope before?
Yes.
Yes. And anytime it says perpendicular, what do you always do?
Opposite.
Flip it and change the sign. Have we already done that before?
Yes.
So we're still just going to use the green slope, aren't we?
Yes.
There's no point in redoing it because we've already done it once, haven't we? Up here at the very top, Haley, didn't we find the slope?
Yeah.
And then since it said perpendicular, didn't we already flip it and change the sign?
Yeah.
So we're good. Let's just use it again.
Well, what changes then?
That's a good question. What changes on part B? Not the y-intercept. What it's going to indirectly. The point on part B, they want you to go through T. So the only thing that changes here is which point we're going to use.
But the other ones, the parallel ones, did that too. But I thought you said that.
But it's not going to be the same answer.
Oh, like the other ones. Okay.
It won't be the same answer. All right, so let's do the same thing. So go back to our formula, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. All right, so let's sub in what we know. Like y'all told me, we're going through t, so I'm going to circle that, just a reminder. We're going to use negative 812 here, aren't we? We're still using perpendicular slopes. That's the green one, isn't it? We're still going to use 13 over 16. So y minus, all right, what's the y value for t? 12. Equals, what slope did y'all tell me to use for perpendicular? 13 over 16. That's the one we was flipped the change sign to, didn't we? X minus, what's the x value for t?
Oh, I know.
Negative 8.
No.
What do you mean no?
It's negative.
I've got negative in it. So it's x minus, and Ava, what did you say it was? So minus is part of the formula. So x minus, and then negative 8. All right, it's easy to lose a negative if you don't pay attention. All right, so on the left, drop your parentheses. That's y minus 12 equals. Minus turns into a plus. Let's do the Schroeder property. 13/16 times x is 13 over 16x. And yeah, that slope really annoying to work with. 13 over 16 times 8, that's going to be 6.5 in it.
Yeah.
As a fraction, it's 13 over 2, which is 6.5.
Wait, I thought it was 5. Oh, wait. No, okay.
You okay? Yeah. And then we'll add 12 to the other side. To get y by itself, we add the 12. So as a fraction, it would be 13 over 16x plus, and that's 24, and that's 13. So that'd be 37 over 2. And 37 over 2 is going to be 16.5? No, not 16. It's going to be 19. It's going to be 18.5. I'm sorry. Yeah, 18. And there's our answer. See if I have a question. The biggest mistake people make, two biggest mistakes. Number one, I've already told you, it's easy to forget a negative along the way. The other thing is, when people see perpendicular, they forget to flip it and change the sign. Haley, what's wrong?
My negatives.
You forget the negative again? Don't do that.
Well, you can't tell me not to do that.
Yeah, sure I can. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Don't forget the negative.
It's not that easy, man.
Whenever I was doing like the minus 12 and I was supposed to add it, I just combined it like, you know.
You know that, you know better than that though, you know, right?
I know, I've never done that until now.
So, you've got bad mojo right now. We'll get it fixed. Alright. Any questions? No, let's not worry about that right now. Is this on the next page? Right, where's this one? Is that the next page? Top of the next one? What did it say, Cindy?
It says the page is on the board.
Yeah, I know, but it's on, it's just, I didn't know where we were at though. It's 34 the next page, the page over, y'all gotta skip over.
Right here, big page.
Alright, try it. See if y'all do it yourself.
Which number one?
Oh, this one. Oh, wait. Let me find it, see if I got another one. Nah, rats. Let's leave them alone. I don't want to talk about them right now. We'll do this. Go to page 40. If you already started the other one, just, you know, yeah, there's no point in racing, man. That's okay. Let's go to page 40. Page 40 was basically, we're not going to do that, whatever's on page 40, so you got a lot of room there, don't you?
You said page 40?
Page 40. So I want y'all to try part A and part B. Now notice the difference. Part A, write the equation of the line that is parallel. What do we do when it says parallel? We use the same slope. That's right. We use the same slope, don't we? And I want to go through A. So you're going to use 4, 2. Now do we know the slope?
No.
So what do you have to do to find it? Y2 minus Y1 over X minus X. Now, before you start, I know on part B, why is part B different? It says perpendicular. And what do y'all have to do on perpendicular? Opposite reciprocal. You got to flip and change the sign, don't you? And on this one, I wanted to go through point B. I want you to use 5, 1 on this one. Okay, so try it. Y'all got page 40. You got a little room there. See if you can do it. If you have a question, ask. Part A, I want to be parallel. That just tells you, oh, I got to use the same slope. Part B, I want to be perpendicular. That just tells you need to flip and change the sign. Yep, you got to find the slope. Have a question, say something. You get an answer, kind of wait for a second, check for those around you once they start finishing up. Find the slope first. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Have a question, be sure to say something. If we've simplified out, again, make sure you're careful with your negatives, although this one's not really an issue. It says parallel, use the same slope. If it's perpendicular, you have to flip it and change the sign.
Oh, Mr. You did, Mr. But I still want to.
Oh, good. I told you not to do it. You listen. I told you you would. You're welcome. Yeah. I'm going to tell you next year, when y'all go to Algebra 2, this will be one of the first things you work on next year in Algebra 2. I'd say probably the first maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You'll do this a lot in college algebra, for those of y'all that take college algebra, and I'm guessing quite a few of you will. And if I ever see you in pre-cal, we talk about this for about 45 minutes in pre-cal. That's by that point, I suppose it doesn't matter. Point is, you're going to see it a lot of times. It's also one of the things we really struggled on our test last year. So if you have a question, say something. Well, remember, if one of them's negative, the whole thing's negative, right? What'd you call it? Oh, same answers?
I got the same answer you guys.
All right, y'all check with each other, check around, get an answer, see if you get the same.
John's not doing it for it.
John's not doing work.
I can't think of
You want to stop after that?
because I got playing one over
What did you do today?
Yeah, I have to.
Did you get y equals 1.6? For both of them?
Minus 4.
What am I saying?
All right, does anybody want to put A on the board?
You did it wrong.
Did you?
I'll do it. I'll do B.
Oh, man. I did it wrong.
Got to put the same sign?
Oh my freaking God. Hey, math.
Hey,
Calm down, please.
Yeah, all right.
wait, so you
First off, this is.
All right. Huh?
Where's my jersey?
You want B? I think somebody might have already said B.
There you go.
I'll let you do the second one next one. All right, so Jasmine talked about it. Teach us a bit. What we got to do? Please. You do it over to the side if you want to, so it's kind of out of the way. So what do we got to do first?
Y2 minus Y, ooh, that was bad.
What do you mean?
That was real bad.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Fine. What are you talking about?
My handwriting's bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
Did you get y equals 1x minus 4?
4 kittens just died because of their horrible handwriting.
My arm hurts.
So proud of those things.
Wait, what?
All right, Jasmine, why are you doing that for?
4 kittens would die. What did he say?
You're a horrible person.
You're the one writing like that. That's good. All right, why are we doing this for, Jasmine?
That's so,
Why?
can't find out.
Everybody agree had fun slope? All right, so we go through and work it out. What is 1 over negative 1?
Negative.
All right, so there's your slope. All right, so we write down the formula. You might want to save a little room there. You're kind of running out of room, aren't you?
Yeah, see.
Change your font size.
Oh, that's just really hard.
Yeah, now you know how I feel.
It's after you use it, but
Yep, it is. After your race. All right,
now your pen's broken.
takes a second. All right, so let's see if we can get our focus back here. So Jasmine went through, she found her slope, so now she's going to use the formula, right? So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So on this one, I want you to go through A. Does everybody agree the y value is 2? All right, she said slope is -1, x minus, everybody agree the x value is 4. You sub it in, the parentheses on the left are useless, so y minus 2. The right side, you do the Schroeder properties, -1 times x, -1x. And then -1 times -4, negative times negative is positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then to get y by itself, we add 2 to the other side.
That one's supposed to be there.
That's all right, don't worry about that. Add 2 to the other side, and we get what? All right, so y equals -1x plus 6. Everybody agree? What do you mean no?
Well, I do agree with this.
Alright, notice it said parallel, so Jasmine used the same slope, didn't you? Alright,
What'd you do?
which one of you said,
I don't agree.
was it you or Caleb?
It was Ava.
Was it Ava? Alright,
That's okay.
have you got the answer?
I think so. I just need to do this.
Alright, why don't you scroll down a bit first.
Go down.
Over on the right there.
Hey.
There you go. Now let me ask you, Ava, have you got to go through and find slope?
No,
Why?
it's already found.
Yeah, notice it's the same coordinates, isn't it? So Jasmine's already found slope. Alright, so let's sub in our numbers. So I want you to go through B here. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So let's sub in what we know. So y minus. Alright, what's the y value for B?
1.
Alright, equals. Now, let's stop. Go ahead, Princess.
Why am I doing that?
No, that's part of the formula.
Oh.
Now, let's stop for a second. What did Jasmine say was the slope on part A? Anybody? -1. What have we got circled though on part B? So what do we do to that -1?
Opposite.
Which means do what? Alright, so if you flip it, well first off, if I change the sign, it's going to become positive. Everybody agree? What happens if you flip 1 over 1? You still get 1, don't you? So opposite reciprocal, if we flip and change sign, does everybody agree we get +1? Alright, keep on going, Ava. So x minus what's, alright, so we want to go through B. X value is 5. Alright, so parentheses on the left we said were useless. So we got y minus 1. Now why is this part right here kind of easy?
Some of this stuff isn't that easy.
The next part.
Oh,
What are you distributing here?
this one.
And if you distribute 1, does it change anything?
No.
No. 1 times x is still x, and then minus, and 1 times 5 is 5. Alright, and then we'll go through and we'll get y by itself, so we add 1 to the other side. So what do you get? 1x, and then minus 4. There you go.
What did you get? Mama's.
Does anybody have a question?
Hell,
Junior first.
Oh, you added the 1 to the 5. I get A and B.
Alright, let's find another blank page here. Let's try a couple more. So let's go to
Okay.
everybody go to page 18. 4. Roger 4. Yeah.
We already read on that.
We already wrote on 18?
Yeah, a little bit.
Please, and
Alright, what about 12?
It's blank. Yeah, 12 is blank.
12 is blank?
Yeah.
Okay. 12 or 33, yeah, there's a lot of room on 33, isn't there? So whichever one you want to do. Alright, let's make up one on the spot.
Oh.
So this is going to be probably turn out horrible. That's okay. Y'all going to be the one who writes the problems. So who wants to write on the board? You don't have to do anything. You just got to, alright, Jordan, jump up there. That'd be alright. Alright, so Jordan, if you would, create a blank page.
Well, how you do that?
There's on the left side, that little the toolbar, on the left side there should be like a white sheet of paper. Hit it again, see if it works. Oh, that's the grid paper. Go either one to it, above it, and to the right. There you go. Good job.
That's over, right? So I'm just saying, I think you need to learn your lesson.
Yeah, I forgot what that
It's like, I don't know my left handwriting here, yeah.
Forgot, I'm sorry.
Alright, so we need 2 points. So Jordan, you're the teacher. Call on somebody.
Done.
Alright, so point S. Sean, what points you want to give us?
0 and 1.
Okay. Point S is 0, 1. Alright, Jordan, we need another one. Call somebody else.
And
Whiteboard.
Okay, thank y'all. All right, so we're going to write the equation of a line that goes through 0, 1, and 5, 4. So Jordan, next thing, we need to know if parallel or perpendicular, so pick somebody, ask them if they want to do parallel or perpendicular. All right.
How you spell it?
R, A, it's only one R, A-L-L-E-L. Yeah, the biggest mistake people make on it, they think there's 2 R's. There's not. All right, and finally, Jordan, ask somebody, we need to figure out if they want to go through S or if they want to go through A.
S.
All right, so just say through S. Over on the right. Yes, we want to go through.
Wrong through.
That's fine. I don't care.
Oh.
It is there. All right, you sit down now.
Oh, God.
Trigger.
It's fine. It's fine.
Goodness.
It's fine, Jasmine. Don't freak out. It's okay.
It's not okay.
Control your OCD.
I'm not OCD, I'm just literate.
Jasmine. All right, y'all try it. So the 2 points, Sean and Anna's points were 0, 1, and 5, 4. We want to write the equation of a line that is parallel to 0, 1, 5, 4. We want to go through point S. So see if y'all can write that equation, okay? See if you can do it. If you have a question, again, say something. If you get an answer, check with those around you.
Dang, they sure are. Shaking my head.
Oh, no. Since you started before, we changed to that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't want to spell that.
No, it doesn't matter. No, we still always do the biggest y, don't we? When you do y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, we're using 0, 1 and something. That's your book. Y'all finish this up. Jordan, finish it up. When you did, like right here, when you did this one, let's do the, you see how you sub 4 and 1 in there. They want to go through.
What are we gonna do?
See, actually, you subbed in the wrong number. Should have
Don't tell me
7.
it.
Alright,
That's when you sub it in. They want to sub in.
Yeah, that's big.
Sub it into the question.
Shake my head that one time.
Find the slope, we'll go.
Okay.
Dust.
Alright, finish. Can I keep squat?
It's fine.
Nice.
Guys, it's fine. Y'all work on this. You get an answer, check with those around you.
I got an answer.
Everybody be quiet.
I can.
Yes, ma'am.
You're very good. I can't say it.
Denominator?
Yeah. They're okay, both today.
If they're both negative? What happens if they're both negative? Doesn't have to be right. All right, does anybody want to put it on the board? Lucas, go ahead. Thank you. You are rolling. All right, so y'all listen to Lucas, please. If you have a question, say something. So Lucas, so you change the color of Lucas if you would. All right, Lucas, what's the first thing we need to do here?
Slope.
Yes, sir. Everybody agree we got to find slope? So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Go ahead, Lucas. All right, so we always start with the biggest y to hopefully avoid negatives, don't we? So 4 minus 1, and then since he started with the 4, he's got to do 5 minus 0. All right, so Lucas, what do you get for slope? Yes, sir. Everybody agree?
Yep.
Alright. Now, we want to go through, well, you kind of missed there a bit. That's good enough. Alright, so we want to go through S. Alright, so Lucas, let's sub it into the equation. So point slope, we know is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Alright, so since, I think you're the one who told us to go through S, didn't you?
Yeah.
So Lucas, what's the y value for S? Everybody agree 0? Oh, sorry, it's 1. And then equals, and the slope Lucas said was 3/5. X minus, then Lucas, what's the x value?
Oh, 0.
Yes, sir. Is everybody okay with how he subbed it in? Cindy, that's what I was talking about. See how he subbed in 0, 1 since we wanted to go through S? Alright, so the parentheses on the left, Lucas, you can.
Yeah. 3/5 X minus.
Okay. Got distributed property over there, right? And 3/5 times 0 is just minus 0, isn't it? And on the left side, just drop the parentheses, so the left side is just y minus 1, isn't it? And then what do y'all need to do to get y by itself? Okay.
What? Are we going?
Yes.
And you're answering it right now.
It's X.
Alright, any questions? Anybody have a question? Notice, why did Lucas use the same slope for it? Why did Lucas use 3/5? Why didn't he flip and change sign?
Because there's a need to do that because it's parallel.
Yeah, it said parallel. Thank you, ladies. It said parallel. Alright, I need one more person to the right. Faith, thank you.
Alright.
Lucas already had a shirt color.
No, she's already been up there. Go ahead.
No, I was kidding.
Alright, so Faith, if you would create another blank sheet. Alright, last one I want you to do as far as this stuff goes. Alright. Alright, so I will do the same thing, Faith. Pick a couple people, let's get a coordinate.
Same thing.
No, pick a couple people. Pick some people who haven't talked yet.
1, 0. I swear to God. -4. 3.
Yeah, pick some people we haven't heard from today. Alright, so Shannon's going to be 2. Alright. Now, I'm going to set the next part. I want it to be, Faith, I want it to be perpendicular.
Of course I do.
Alright. And then finally, and you just pick anybody, again, pick somebody who hadn't talked yet. Figure out, do we want to go through D or S?
Here.
D.
So through D. Alright, Faith.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, that's alright. Just fix it. There you go. Alright, so, be careful here. This is the one that's the hardest, I think. Okay, you sit down. Good job. You go ahead and work it. Thank you, Faith. Alright, this is the one that's the hardest. So, again, we want to go through -4, 3 and 2, 6. We want it to be perpendicular this time. Now, why is perpendicular important? What are you going to have to do?
Are we doing something? Sorry.
Are we going now? Yes, always reduce fractions. But yes, since it says perpendicular, you're going to have to flip and change the sign, aren't you? And Griffin said he wants to go through -4, 3, so use that for your equation.
I need -6 and 10. Oh, okay, I have Wait, maybe.
I think y'all came up with a great equation here, great problem. I think this is going to work out perfect, isn't it?
What are you doing? Come on.
Have y'all finished the whole thing? Okay, so everybody else finished? John, work it. Get an answer check with those around you.
Yeah, it'd be negative 2.
If what?
But she said different.
Total.
Yeah, but I said. I know that.
Hey, shh.
Careful here.
How did you get it?
This is the one
These
that,
double negatives and stuff. Oh my
I know it. I know. This is the hardest version of this stuff. Okay? Ask other people.
Wait, then why have I?
Yep, D.
I think you're wrong.
Y to a minus x equals negative 2 right here.
Good.
Times x plus negative, or minus negative 4. Which one is plus 4? Yeah. And 2 times 4 is 8. It's a negative one. That's what I meant. Okay. What? I know, it didn't click. It didn't click.
So hard.
What? It's the hardest version of this though. But if what I'm saying, if you understand this, you're in good shape. Because there's a bunch of places you can mess it up, doesn't it? Right?
I don't know how long I'm at this point and I need to go.
Alright, does anybody want, I don't want you to do it yet, but does anybody want to put it on the board?
I will actually do it.
Maybe we'll. I can.
No, y'all have already gone.
I can.
Kaylee, thank you.
Reach this up.
Let her, give everybody a second, one more minute, okay?
Am I going now?
No, give everybody a minute.
Okay.
Alright, but the point is, with this type of problem, this one is about as bad as these get. You've got to do perpendicular, and since it says perpendicular, what are we going to have to do? Yes, sir. Flip and change the sign, aren't we? You got some negatives in there, you got to be careful with your negatives, and then you just go through and work it out. So there's a bunch of small places where it's easy to screw it up, isn't it? Just be careful. Alright, Kaylee, go and start writing, but yeah, it's going to take you a while to get to the main problem anyways. You got to find slope, don't you? Alright. Kaylee, talk about it. Okay. Everybody agree? The biggest Y is 6, isn't it? And then since Kaylee started with the 6, you have to start with the 2, doesn't she? Alright, so we get 3 over 6, which is? Alright, so we use a slope of a half, right? Wait, well, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody remember, since y'all told me it says perpendicular, we got to flip, but we're not going to use a half, are we? You immediately flip and change the sign, and Kaylee, if you flip and change the sign, what do you get? Negative 2? Everybody agree with her? Everybody okay? I always have that one kid that thinks they can flip it and change the sign at the very end. No, you can't wait. You got to do it immediately, as soon as you figure it out. So as soon as Kaylee got a half, she immediately flipped and changed the sign. Alright, so there's our equation. We said we want to go through D. So what's the Y value for D? Yeah, it's 3, isn't it? And then Kaylee's slope, she said, was negative 2. And X minus, the X value is negative 4. Minus minus turns positive. Can you scroll down just a bit? Okay. So Kaylee went through, she did the Schroeder property. You get what? Negative 2x, and then everybody agrees it's minus 8? Negative, negative turn positive 4, then negative 2 times positive 4 is negative 8. She added the 3 to the other side. Got what? Negative 2x and then minus 5. Alright, looks good. Anybody have a question? What, Jordan?
So you're going to lose 2 over 1.
You will?
It's okay, lose 2 over 1.
Yeah. You got negative? Yeah, so yeah, if you leave it as negative 2 over 1, same thing, isn't it? Does anybody have a question? Alright, tomorrow at some point, when y'all first come in tomorrow, we're going to do the 4-question quiz. The ELC ACT quiz. That's Thursday tomorrow, right? But also at some point tomorrow, we are going to have an exit ticket over this stuff. Okay? Now, let's do this. We've got about 17 minutes left. So, on the same, well, anywhere you have a blank sheet. So we said, what were we at? Page 12 we said was blank. Is there anything, I think there's something prior to that, isn't there? At the very start of the module, I think there's a couple blank.
Page 4.
Page 4 is blank, thank you, Anna. And I think if you go to the very start, I think there's a couple blank. Let's do this. Let's write down, I'm going to give you a bunch of formulas, a bunch of equations. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to do with it, okay? Alright, so if y'all would, let's write these down. So let's say 2x plus y equals 7. Again, whatever blank page. And I just tell you, leave a little bit of room between each one, okay? Leave a little bit of room between each one. Alright, so we have, let's do, I'm not going to leave a lot because I want to try to get them all on the page here. Let's say y equals 3x minus 8. Let's say y equals negative x plus 2. Let's say 3y equals negative 9x plus 6. Okay, let's keep going. Let's say x plus y equals 7. Okay? Write these down, and then I will explain. Alright, let's do let's do 6x minus 3y equals 15. Let's do, what do I want to do now? Negative x plus 3y equals 12. Then let's finish it up. We got one more here. Let's finish it up with not do that. Let's do, come on. Let's do y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. Alright, so write those, I guess there's 8 down, aren't there? Jordan, which one can you not see? 12. Alright, so what we want to do, we want to figure out which ones are parallel to each other and which ones are perpendicular to each other. Okay, we want to figure out, are any of them parallel to each other?
Yes.
Yes? And are any of them perpendicular to each other?
Do we do it or the slope intercept one? We do it all the
Well, you don't know what we're doing. How can we tell if they're parallel or
Do they have the
perpendicular?
same numbers? No.
They have same slope.
Alright, so parallel. Wait a minute. So Dad, say again, parallel have to do what? Everybody agree? Now, how can we tell what the slope is?
Oh wait, no.
Do we have a formula that's really easy for us to figure out where the slope's at or what the slope is?
Yeah.
What?
Y, not too much, Y1.
But these aren't in this form, although is it?
It's the number with X.
Y equals MX plus B?
Yeah, so if y'all think about y equal mx plus b, the slope is the number in front of the x. Yeah, Aaron, everybody agree with her? So if we can get this in slope-intercept form, if we can get it as y equal mx plus b, can't we figure out what the slope is really easily? And then once we know what the slope is, can we figure out which ones are parallel? Because if they're, as Jasmine just said, if they have the same slope, they're parallel to each other, aren't they? So, we can get y by itself. Now, a couple of them already, y is by itself already, isn't it? I think the other ones, y'all need to get y by itself, and that's why I told you to leave a little bit of room. So, I reckon this one, color not used. I didn't use one of the colors, did I?
Red. Oh,
It's red, isn't it?
black.
I guess I used them all. Here, we'll use fancy pen. Fancy pen. Fancy pen. Yeah, we'll change colors. What's the color for for Thanksgiving?
Orange.
Orange and brown?
No, not brown. Don't you dare do brown. Do it like a reddish color. Like a burnt orange.
Oh,
That's fine.
Alright, so this one is good, isn't it? That's already in slope-intercept form, isn't it? This one right here is in slope-intercept form. It's good. This one over here is in slope-intercept form. It's good. So we already know, we can tell what the slope for those are, can't we? For the first one, for the blue one, what's the slope?
3, everyone.
Everybody agree the slope is 3? For the green one, what's the slope? How do you know it's a 1 there? It's always just a 1 there, isn't it? So it's like, so it's negative 1. I'm gonna put the 1 there. Negative 1. Y'all still see the negatives over here. And then for the pink one down here, what's the slope?
-1/2.
Problem is, for the other 5, they're not in slope-intercept form, are they?
No.
So we need to get y by itself, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's get y by itself. So what's the first thing we do on the red one? Move the 2x to the other side by subtracting it. So we get y equals, which one do we put first? It's negative 2x, and then it would be, everybody okay? So what's the slope on that one?
-2.
Alright, that one's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to the black one on the bottom. What do you need to do on the black one on the bottom? You get y by itself.
Divided by 3.
And if you divide 1, that's right. Divide everything by 3. Scroll down just a little more. So that if we do that, the 3's cancel out, don't they? We get y equals, what's -9 divided by 3?
-3.
Thank you. X, and then 6 divided by 3 is? So what's the slope?
-3.
Alright, so that one's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does everybody understand the process here?
Yeah.
Alright, so Aaron said earlier, if we can get it in slope-intercept form, we can find the slope really easily, can't we?
Yeah.
Just by looking at it. So if we can find the slope, we can tell which ones are parallel to each other. The red one at the top, what do y'all need to do? Alright, how would you do that? Yes, sir. Minus the x to the other side. So we get y equals, alright, which one needs to go first? Negative x, and then it's going to be, alright, so that's good. What's the slope though? -1. The green one. What do y'all need to do on the green one to get y by itself? Do what now? Subtract 6x to both sides. Alright. Minus 6x minus 6x. We get -3y equals -6x plus 15.
Divided by -3.
Divide everything by -3. You change colors. Divide everything by -3. Again, you divide one, you divide them all, don't you? So we get y equals, what's -6 divided by -3?
2.
Because negatives cancel out, don't they?
Yeah.
And then 15 divided by -3 is?
-5.
Okay, now do we know the slope now?
2.
Good. There's the slope on that one. Alright, let's keep going. We're almost there, aren't we? The next one, the black one, what do you need to get y by itself?
X.
Add x to the other side. So we get 3y equals x plus 12. Now what? And divide them all by 3, don't you?
Yes.
So we get y equals, what's this right here going to be?
1/3.
There's a 1 on top, isn't it? So 1/3 x, and then 12 divided by 3 is, plus 4. I forgot my plus, didn't I? Well, that's 4. So y'all got that one. So what's the slope here? 1/3. And y'all told me the slope on the last one was -0.5. So we went through, and I know it's a lot kind of sloppy now. We went through and we got them all as y equals blah, 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 didn't we? We got them all in slope intercept form. And y'all, we went through and y'all told me the slope. We circled it because it's in slope intercept form. Number in front of x, slope. Jasmine said earlier, parallel have to have the, so which of those have the exact same slope?
Hang on.
Anybody see any that have the same slope?
Y equals yeah, that one.
Yeah, look right here. What, y'all told me this one, the slope was -1x, or -1, didn't you? Did y'all tell me the slope here was also -1? So since they have the same slope, they'll be parallel to each other, won't they? They'll run side by side. So, which ones are parallel? Y equals -x plus 2. What's the symbol for parallel? It's parallel to y equals -x plus 7. Are there any others? Or is that it? That's it? What about these two right here?
They're opposite.
They're not, they're one's positive, one's negative. They gotta be exactly the same. They're not. I think y'all are right. I think that's the, you got a -2, but this one's a +2, so it's the wrong sign. So those things, those aren't quite the same. So I guess that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody see any others?
No.
We're not overlooking any on this. Alright, so now, which one, how do we tell if they're perpendicular? If they're opposite reciprocal. So if you take one of the slopes, if you flip it and change the sign, you gotta get the other one, don't you? Anybody see any that are opposite reciprocal to each other?
3 and like 38 and 8.
Were they -3x plus 2 and 1/3x plus 4?
Alright, first off, why are these two right here, 3x and -3x, why are they not opposite reciprocal?
Because they're not, one of them's on the third.
We didn't flip it, did we? We changed the sign, but we gotta flip it as well. So these two, no, if somebody said it, which one?
-1/3 x plus 4.
1/3 x plus 4, and which other one? If I take 1/3, if I flip it and change the sign, what do y'all get? You get -3, don't you? So these two right here are perpendicular to each other. Alright, so perpendicular would be y equals 1/3 x minus 1, plus 4, I'm sorry. What's the symbol for perpendicular?
The
Upside down t. It's perpendicular to y equals -3x plus 2. Again, if you take 1/3, if you flip it and change the sign, you get -3, don't you? And if you take -3, flip it and change the sign, you get 1/3. By the way, the y-intercept, we haven't talked about the y-intercept at all, have we? Does it matter? No, it doesn't. We're just looking at the slope. Are those the only two that are perpendicular? Which two? Which ones?
2 and 1, -1.
2x minus 5 and -1/2 x.
Oh, look at those. If you take -1/2, if you flip it and change the sign, what do you get? 2. 2 over 1, which is 2, isn't it? If you take 2, flip it and change the sign, what do you get? So they're perpendicular to each other, aren't they? So there you go. So y equals, let's say y equals -1/2 x plus 1 is perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 5. How do we know? Well, we had to get in slope intercept form, didn't we? Alright. Tomorrow, again, we're going to do the ACT ELT quiz to start with. We're going to talk about this a little bit more. I'm going to give you some equations. This is kind of a mess here. So I'll probably give you like 2 equations that simply ask you, are they parallel to each other? Are they perpendicular to each other? Or are they nothing? Okay? They don't have to be, it's not either or. They don't have to be parallel or perpendicular. Most of the time they're just going to be nothing, are they? That's fine. We'll do an exit ticket tomorrow, do a quiz and an exit ticket. And hopefully I can get that quiz, that exit ticket y'all did Monday, I can get that graded.